You can start whenever you'd like, though.
Okay. Hi, Brenda. Thank you for coming today and allowing me the opportunity to teach you guys. So today we're gonna get started in our easy seat position, our Sukhasana. And we can take a second to close our eyes, set our intention for today's class, and begin breathing, inhaling slowly, holding it all the way at the top. Hold it for a couple of seconds, then slowly breathe out through the nose. And we're going to repeat this 2 more times. And from there, we're going to slowly stand up. Straight up standing in our standing Tanasana. We're going to inhale and reach your arms up overhead, stretching your fingertips towards the ceiling, feeling the expansion through your body. Take a deep exhale, fold forward, Utkatasana, allowing your torso to melt towards your legs, keeping a slight bend in your knees if need be. And we're going to inhale, lengthen your spine into Ardha Uttanasana. Gaze forward, drawing your shoulders back. Then we're going to exhale and step back into a plank, engaging your core, aligning your shoulders over your wrist. We're going to hold this for 2 more breaths. We're going to slowly lower down into our Chaturanga Dandasana, keeping your elbows close to your body. When you're ready, inhale, lift your chest, rolling your shoulders back, opening your heart. We're going to exhale, press back, face into downward facing dog, grounding your heels, spreading your fingers wide, and we're going to hold this for 5 breaths. With each inhale, feel your body expand, and with each exhale, release your tension. Now we're going to flow through this 2 more times, inhaling and exhaling. With each breath will be the movement at your own pace. Step your feet together into Tadasana. And then we're going to inhale your arms up and then exhale to a forward fold. Okay. We're going to do a half lift. Inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. Give me a second. I lost my script. Sorry, my phone's glitching out.
All good. All good. So where would you take Brenda? Let's see if we can go off script for a little bit.
Okay.
She's on a forward fold. It's the beginning of the second sun A.
Okay. All right. I got it back up. Yay.
Good job.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna from here we're gonna inhale all the way up um into Tadasana. We're gonna inhale, reach your arms all the way up, interlock your fingers and stretch your arms overhead, releasing your index finger. Inhale, feel the length in your spine, engage your core and lift your heart. Exhale, sink your shoulders away from your ears, feeling relaxed yet strong. Inhale, reach your arms to the side, fold forward, placing your hands onto the ground, hands to feet pose, feeling the stretch in your hamstrings. Inhale, rise halfway, lengthen through your spine. Hmm. I feel like my script needs a little bit of edits. I see something that doesn't make sense with where we're going right now.
Okay, no worries. Well, this was a great first try. Brenda, go ahead and have a seat for a moment. Take care of your back. But good job, Devin. I don't know if you, I know that this was kind of like a last minute thing, and you weren't necessarily like thinking about teaching today. So I appreciate you like getting us started.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the
uh,
biggest problem was like when I was looking
mhm.
at the notes, my screen kept glitching, and then like I lost the notes, and then like the screen went out, and I was like, "Oh my God, here we go."
Yeah, no worries. So let me, are you able to stay for feedback at the end of the class?
Um,
Or what time
I,
to head out?
I, I'm trying to head out on the hour, but I can push an extra 10 minutes if possible.
Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's have you go ahead and grab your a pen and paper or something to take notes with, and I'll give you feedback now before we switch over to
Oh,
That's what I was gonna suggest. Just do it right now.
yeah.
all right. Got a
Hmm.
got a pad.
Okay. So again, great job for like, teaching. I know you weren't necessarily expecting to teach, so good job saying yes to Brenda's offer and putting yourself out there. So I really, really appreciate the fact that you were willing to do that. For next week, I want you to teach as well, and I want you to get us started. So you're gonna teach the first 15 to 20 minutes of class. So you're gonna teach that Sun A, but I want you to write your script out on a piece of paper, and I want you to look at it with your own handwriting. Okay.
Okay.
Now, a couple of things. You were going off script quite a bit. So I would not necessarily even trust the script that you have, or better yet, go ahead and send it to me,
Okay.
or submit it on school under the Q&A or the feedback rather. And just
Yeah.
submit your script there so I can look at it and give you feedback there. Okay.
Yeah, and I have to look through my scripts too because I did like edit it 4 or 5 times. So it might be
Yeah.
like one of the ones that's like edited but needed that but I edited it again, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So if we're gonna teach, if you're gonna teach HPF, we have to teach the exact sequence as it is.
I hear
We
you.
can make some slight modifications to that sequence, but the modifications are not necessarily in the order of things or in the poses. It's more in like how you teach them and how long you hold them. But the specific order of the poses and what the poses are, if you're going to teach that sequence, let's make sure to stick with that sequence. Otherwise, I would suggest teaching like your own vinyasa. You can create your own sequence as well, and then I can give you feedback on that. But whatever it is, submit the sequence that you're going to teach next week. Submit it on school under the feedback tab. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the first thing I want you to do. And I want you to write it out instead of typing it or having it as a document or a note on your phone. I want you to like actually write it out with pen and paper. And I want you to use that as you teach. Okay.
Okay. I have a question. So, do you want me
Mhm.
to like write it out, take a picture, and put it in the feedback, or is it okay to have a typed version of that for the feedback?
Yeah, so the typed version is totally fine,
Okay.
especially to submit it as feedback. It'll actually be easier for me to read, so you can submit it as like a Google Doc or something like that, and just put it in school under the feedback form. But
Okay.
I want you to also write it out. So you're gonna have a digital version and you're gonna have a like a real life version that's written on a piece of paper. And it's written in such a way that it'll be easy for you to read as you're teaching next week. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna give you feedback in like chronological order from the things that I picked up on while you were teaching. And then we'll give you some more ideas and things to think about at the end, okay?
Okay.
If the first thing I would say, Dev, is that the beginning of the class is probably one of the most important parts of class because you're establishing a connection with yourself and with the students. So, um, for example, whenever we say, okay, yogis, come to your seat, take a deep breath in, you're breathing in with them and you start connecting your breath with the breath of the students. And you start actively connecting with the people there in the class. So if I'm saying inhale, if I say the word inhale, I'm going to take an inhale right after I say that. If I say exhale, I'm going to exhale right after I say exhale because then I'm starting to match the breath of the students and I'm matching them energetically. You also, this is more like advanced teaching stuff, but you want to breathe in the way that you want them to breathe. Otherwise, we're just like reading stuff and then you're exhaling the whole time as you're reading, but they're doing something else. So then the energy is not really connected. So the way you connect with the students is by matching their breath and having them match yours. So start really, really slow in the beginning. Those first 5 minutes, really take your time as you go through that. And for example, if you're gonna start seated, stay seated a little bit longer. And just keep them seated for a moment, let them connect to that breath. Here, you started seated, and then you went straight to standing up. Like I think we were seated for like 2 seconds, and then you had Brenda stand up. So if you were going to have her stand up anyway, I would have just kept, I would have just kept her standing. Standing on your mat, take a few breaths. That way you don't have to sit down and stand up and then sit down and stand up again because it's a little could be a little awkward. Um, and I would say also if you're going to teach HPF, we always start hot power fusion standing. It's always standing every time. So if you're going to teach that specific sequence, I would just keep them standing. Otherwise, if you're going to do your own vinyasa, you're going to create your own sequence, then you can start seated if you want. Okay?
Um, yes. Is my mic on?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. As I was teaching it, also like I was kind of seeing those things that you're saying, and I was just like, okay, well, I'd rather just keep going than be like, The only time that like I started getting stopped up is when my screens just started like doing what they wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
But I did notice that it was like, okay, this has to be edited again because like it's just not making sense to me. However, the show must go on.
Yeah. Yeah, the show must go on. That's true. Uh, You said I think it was something like Utkatanasana or something. It's Utkatasana.
Yeah. I stumbled on my word. Yeah. Utkatasana.
Mhm. So double check the Sanskrit. And if you have any questions, again, just text me or ask me. You could also just send me a voice note and say, "Hey Gab, like, how do you say this? This is how I'm thinking about saying it. What do you think?" And then I can correct you in 2 seconds. So, uh, Uttanasana is actually forward fold. Utkatasana is chair pose. They sound very similar, but they're very different postures. So, Uttanasana, just with the T. Utkatasana with the K, that's chair.
Yeah. I I was reading through the script and like I was looking at the chair. I was doing a lot in 1 second. So
Yeah.
I just have to like,
That's why it's helpful to write it down.
yeah,
And writing it down is going to be easy for you to know exactly what section you're in. Whereas sometimes if you have it all written in text as a note or whatever, especially on your phone, it all just looks the same. So sometimes it can be hard to distinguish like
yeah,
where you are.
yeah. I saw that as I was going along. So
Yeah.
um, I my biggest takeaway right now is just to like redo it and then write it down, and I can have a little bit more organization.
Yeah, for sure. Um, in halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, we don't look forward, we look down. Do you
Okay.
know why we look down instead of looking forward?
Um, it's better for your balance.
Uh, yeah, I think it is better for your balance, but there's one specific reason that deals with the body. The reason why we look down instead of looking forward in halfway lift.
Okay.
Brenda, do you know why we look down instead of looking forward during halfway lift?
Um, for our spine, our
Yeah,
cervical spine.
yeah, exactly. Our spine and our neck, right? So if I'm looking forward in a halfway lift, I'm straining my neck to look forward. And we don't want that. What we want is a straight spine. And part of a straight spine means looking down and actually lifting the back of your head up. Yes, question.
Um, just curious, could you do that with your head looking forward if your peak pose was going to be crow pose, since you have to do that in crow pose?
You, yeah, you can. I would say that there's probably other postures that you can do to strengthen your neck, in a way that feels more protective, um, than just hovering off in the air. But if you're intentionally using that because you want to warm up for a crow pose, like it's not necessarily that it's wrong. Um, I personally prefer to have, if I'm gonna have like a big, like open neck position, I want most of the body to be stable. So I'm thinking more in terms of like a baby cobra or something like that, where like at least most of my body's on the ground and now I can really focus on engaging that part of my body. Whereas it's the beginning of class. I'm in a halfway lift. I'm asking the student to like put half of their body completely straight. And now on top of that, they're going to be straining their neck by looking forward. It feels very exposed very early on, you know? It's not like it's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna destroy someone's neck or anything like that either. But it's like you want to think about that. You want to think about where we are in class and what time is it. Like there's so many factors when you're teaching. What's the time of the day? Who am I teaching to? All of these things play a role into like what is or isn't going to be uh helpful. So keeping those things in mind. Oh, what? Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad, but I don't know. I just think that there's other ways. Um, Great question. So here, just wrapping up the feedback for Dev. Uh, again, check the HPF sequence. If you're going to teach HPF, make sure to follow the sequence. You missed a lot of the HPF sequence, Dev. Took Brenda from a halfway lift into a high plank, and from half lift, we go into squat and curl, remember? So we curl into a little ball, lift the heels, knees into the eye sockets. So make sure to do that. Watch those
Yeah.
things. If you,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, as I was going through it, there were things that I felt weren't connected and like disconnected. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll keep moving through it. But yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well,
as I was doing it, like I was seeing these little things.
mhm. Well, and I really commend you on, like you said, keeping the show going. Like instead of like getting nervous or whatever, you just kept, okay, now we're doing this. Now you kept teaching, which is what you want to do. This is just a rule of thumb for both of you. If you're going to start out your class with a plank and you're gonna hold them for a plank, or you're gonna bring their hands to be load bearing for more than a few breaths, it's always a good idea to add wrist warm-ups if you're gonna plan to do that. Instead of just putting them straight into like a plank right at the beginning of class. But if you're planning on doing something like that, wrist warm-ups are gonna go a long way to getting them prepared for that. Um, Another thing I want you to check, Dev, is your language, how you teach. There is a lot of, when you're ready, go ahead and blah, 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 or go ahead and do this thing, or now we're gonna breathe into blah, 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 right? And we want to make sure that we use very direct language. Not when you're ready, but go straight into it. Instead of like, now, when you're ready, step your feet forward, forward fold. It's just inhale, look forward, exhale, forward fold, walk your feet forward. Um, Another thing you said was like, we're going to hold this for X, Y, or Z. Just hold, you're gonna hold this posture, right? Like hold this posture for 5 to X, whatever. 5 breaths, 3 breaths, whatever that is. And this is something I want you to write down, Dev. Um, your transitions and how you cue. So we always do breath, posture, cue. And uh I think you were doing it like cue, then breath, then posture for some of these. Where you were saying something like bring your arms overhead, gaze forward, breathe in, Tadasana, you know? So we want to keep that same pattern, breath, posture, cue. Inhale, extended Tadasana. Arms overhead, gaze forward, engage your belly. And instead of just exhale, fold forward, is exhale, forward, fold. Hinge from your hips, lower your chest down to the ground as you shift the weight forward towards your toes. So keep it in that specific order, especially since you're starting out teaching. That way you get into just a good habit of teaching properly. And what else? What else? I would say that's it. Everything else I think is going to be corrected for you once you look at the sequence and write it out. Keep practicing, but I would love for you to teach the Sun A
Yeah,
for next Monday, okay?
definitely, definitely. This is gonna be my homework. Like I said, as I was teaching it and I was looking at it, I was like, this doesn't seem right.
But I want to end on a positive note. You did really, really well for someone that's teaching for the first time here. And I really commend you on just saying yes and doing your best. So you weren't necessarily prepared to teach, but you still stepped up and you said yes. So I really commend your spirit and the bravery. So keep showing up, and really a lot of these tweaks, once you make these tweaks, it's gonna be easy to like keep that up. So we'll see you on next Monday.
Next
Let's have you
Monday.
body for Brenda for a couple of minutes and see if we can get some space for Brenda to teach too. Yeah.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, next week it's gonna be a new week.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm
Okay,
excited.
I'm excited. Thanks.
All right. Uh Brenda, the floor is yours. I'm gonna go ahead and put a spotlight on Devin Devin, would you mind being a body for Brenda?
Yeah, let me just find a quieter spot because this radiator I can't hear.
All right. How are you feeling today, Brenda, while Devin is getting set up?
I'm feeling all right. It snowed a bunch last night, so
Mhm.
there's like a lot of that snow stir happening right now from
Yeah.
people are excited about it.
Yeah. I see everyone scrambling outside.
Yeah, they're getting their snow gear on so they can go play.
Nice. Okay. Uh, Okay, so Brenda, I'm gonna head in. The floor is yours. What would you like to teach, by the way?
So can I finished my sequence and I'd like to continue maybe where we left off.
Yeah, could you remind me where we left off last time?
I'm looking. Hold on. I feel like I got you guys rotating it. Did we? Oh yeah, because I had to change the Utthita Parshva Okay, so I think now we're going to be heading into my peak pose actually. So maybe Deb, if you can do little warm-ups for your body. My peak pose is Wild Thing.
Okay, so well, let's
Hold
do
on,
this.
you go ahead. I'm looking.
Yeah, what kind of warm-ups would you give Devin to get him into the shape?
So I would definitely have him do some sun salutations.
Hmm.
Um, Hold on, let me imagine like the shape because we're gonna be down. I'd want to do some wrist warm-ups, shoulder warm-ups, um, back bends. Um, I mean, I guess we can. I wrote so much. There's so many words here. Um,
Why don't you
yeah.
start from what do you have immediately after your son A?
Okay, let me go find that. Um, my oh my gosh, my warm up. Oh, there's my warm up. I have cat cow.
Mhm. Yeah, why don't let's
Um,
go ahead and guide. Let's start there.
in my
Uh
warm up.
yeah, start with the warm up. And then same thing. Have I seen this sequence of yours yet?
Yeah, we did it last week.
Okay.
We did it all up until my peak was,
Okay.
and then that's where I stopped. I didn't have any more written out.
Okay, cool. So before you get started, I'm just gonna tell you the same thing I told Devin. Do me a favor and submit your sequence on school using the feedback tab. And
Okay.
I'd love to see it because I think you've probably rewritten a couple of things, and I'd love to see your notes. So
Yeah.
submit that there, okay? And let's go ahead and just walk Dev today. Let's go from the warm up and just take him as far as you can before Devin has to leave and see if we can get to that pose. But if we can't get to Wild Thing, that's totally fine. We can just talk a little bit more about all of it. So
Okay.
cool. All right. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and take over.
Um, just a second, please. Okay. Okay, Deb. Thank you for being my body today. Do you want me to do the introduction or can I just dive in since I'm in the warm up?
Do a little introduction, but then you can go into the warm up.
Okay. I'm Brenda. Thank you for being in my class today. This is my first sequence. I'm excited to share it with you. Um, it is I consider it a gentle vinyasa flow. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. You're going to be standing. So let's let's go ahead and bring your hands by your side, find some balance in your feet. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Close your eyes, take a nice deep grounding breath. Exhale. We'll do inhale, extended Tadasana or Ardha Hatasana, arms straight up, gazes forward, elbows are forward. Exhale, hands by your heart as you forward fold into Uttanasana, forward fold, hinging from your hips all the way down. Go ahead and touch the ground with your hands, bend your knees a lot. And inhale, halfway lift or Ardha, and then exhale, forward fold. Come down to your knees into tabletop Varmanasana. And find some movement here, kind of in your shoulders, warm up your shoulders, maybe some circles for your wrists. And then the opposite direction. When you're ready, find your center. Beautiful, head forward. Inhale, Bitilasana, cow pose. Lower your belly to arch your back, broaden your chest, and lift your chin to open your throat. Exhale, Marjayasana, cat pose. Round your chin to your chest, arch your back, relax your glutes, and lean about 2 inches forward. Inhale, Bitilasana again, cow pose. Exhale, Marjaryasana, cat pose. Round your chin and your chest. Find a couple of these and move fluidly between these poses with your own breath, letting your body guide you. Use about 4 or 5 breaths of your own breaths here. And then we will meet back in Varmanasana tabletop when you are ready. Beautiful. Inhale, extend your right arm up and your gaze up. Exhale, Supta Kapotasana, thread the needle right side. Gently slide your right hand underneath your left arm. Beautiful. And breathe for we are going to take 4 to 5 of your own breaths here. The Heart Sutra, a Buddhist text that is a key part of the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, says, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Allow your chest to open up more towards the earth. Together, inhale, slowly come out of the pose the same way you came in. Bring your left hand under, release your right arm. Go ahead and do some big circles with the right arm forward and back. Inhale, extend your left arm up, gaze up. Exhale, Supta Kapotasana, thread the needle left side. Same exact thing you did on the left side that you did on the right. 4 to 5 breaths. take a moment here and bring awareness again to a person or a situation where your heart has felt so full. You feel the happiness begin to rise from your heart into your throat, into your eyes. So happy that the happiness begins to leak from those eyes, and you're wearing a little perma smile on your face. How does that feel inside your body? What would it feel like to embody this feeling throughout the rest of your practice today? Together again, inhale. Slowly come out of this pose the same way you came in. Bring your right arm back underneath, stacked under your shoulder. And then bring circles around that left arm, forward and then back. And then finding your breath here, begin to move your body in whatever way it feels good in right now. That could be cat-cow, C's, looking to your right foot, looking over your shoulder at your left foot. You can do a child's pose, find stillness, whatever is coming up for you. Beautiful. Inhale, tuck your toes. Exhale, Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. Hips go up, straighten the spine. Release the head, shoulders are back. Little bend in the knee. This is our first one, so go ahead and wiggle it out a little. Find some movement, some stretching. Come back to the center. Preparatory inhale. Exhale, jump or forward or walk up to Uttanasana, forward fold. Feet meet behind your hands, find your breath and find some movement. You can grab both shoulder or grab onto your elbows, dangle your head, shake it yes or no. Whatever feels good. And when you're ready, we will meet with our hands on the ground. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Begin to rise into extended mountain pose slowly, vertebrae to vertebrae. Arms up. Arms up to the sky. Gazes forward, elbows forward. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Oh, here comes my sun salutation. Okay, I wish I could show you. I need to figure out a better way to write this, but inhale, I want you to sweep your arms out to your sides like angel wings. Yeah, like big ones, lifting your chest up to the sky. And then exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Hinging from your hips all the way down. Hug your legs or hug the earth. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, hands above your knees, shoulder blades together, straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, slowly begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time until you're all the way up in extended mountain pose. And beautiful. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Okay, we're going to do that flow 2 more times. Inhale. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, extended mountain pose. Exhale. Oh wait, inhale, Oh, shit. Okay. Exhale. Angel wings. Arms out by your side. Lift your chest. Inhale. Extended mountain pose. Exhale. Forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale,
It's such a
Urdhva
pussy, bro.
Uttanasana.
She's just,
Extended
like,
mountain
dropping
pose.
his body like a sling, like this forward folds. Watch.
And then exhale, Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, angel wings, chest out, open out. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Okay, and then inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. No, don't do that. Go back down.
You're both
Okay, we're
doing a
gonna do,
great job, by the way.
okay, Ardha Uttanasana, let's do halfway lift. This time you're gonna extend both arms out. You find your breath here, engage your core, a little micro bend in your knees. We're preparing your body for arms out in front of you, and like biceps by your ears. There you go. And take a nice deep breath in here. Deep breath out. One more breath in. Exhale, Pahalakasana, plank pose. Hands down to the ground beneath your shoulders. Step both feet back. Keep a straight spine from head to toes. Engage your belly. Make sure you're not slumping between your shoulders. Deep breath in. We're going to hold this pose for a second to engage our body, to support the spine. Oh, here's something I added that's different than last time. Inhale. Vashisth. I'm going to do side plank. I don't know how to say that one yet. Vastisthasana, side plank. Roll onto your side, onto your right side, stacking your feet. Yes, you may use your knee for support here too. Where am I? Stacking your feet, ensuring your body is straight from heels to fingertips. Keep your core steady. Beautiful. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow deep breath out. Another breath in. Exhale. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So bring your right hand back down. Step your right foot up and land it inside of your right hand. Allow your left heel. Oh wait, let's stay here for a second. Let your body feel that out. If you need to put your knee on the ground, you are more than welcome to. Whatever's comfortable in your body. And then melt your left heel on the ground as you inhale, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Keeping the bend in your right knee, stack your shoulders, tee out your arms. Feet are planted on the earth, gaze is forward, looking past your thumb. Keeping the right knee in alignment with your foot. That looks great. I think your pelvis should be touched. I shouldn't say I think. Pelvis is tucked, core is engaged. Inhale, Viparita Virabhadrasana, reverse warrior. Maintaining the bend in your right knee. Reach your right arm up and back and place. There it is. You did it. And breathe. And on your exhale, reach a little further if you can. Inhale one more time. And then exhale, Utthita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. Paint the air as you reach your right arm down towards your right foot. Your left arm is up. Make sure you are pressing from the inside of your knee to allow your heart to open up towards the sky. You could use a block here too to bring the ground closer to you so you have a little bit more of a straight spine. If you're a little wobbly looking up, you may look at the ground. Okay. Inhale together. Exhale, revolving Utthita Parshvakonasana. Paint your left arm down by your right foot. Begin rotating your torso as you paint your right arm up to the sky. Can you? Okay. Take a nice breath here. Gaze up or on the ground. Yeah. Inhale together. Exhale, bring your right arm down to the outside of your right foot, stepping into a low lunge. Breathe in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your left foot to meet your right foot, keeping a moderate bend in your knees. Take another breath here. So extend your arms overhead, biceps by your ear. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Keep your knees bent, hinge up from your hips. Keep your spine straight, arms extended, biceps, beautiful. Tuck your tailbone, engage your core. Make sure you're sitting back and your knees are behind your toes. Palms are facing each other. And find your breath here. We're going to be holding this pose for about 30 seconds. Deep inhale together. Slow breath out. Keeping arms extended. Inhale, rise into one-legged Tadasana, which is a one-legged mountain pose, lifting the right leg in alignment with your right hip. Yes. Exhale, Garudasana, eagle pose. Bring your right arm under your left arm and find your bind by grabbing for opposite.
Actually, sorry to interrupt, Brenda. How about we take Devin to the other side?
Okay.
Did you do the left side of the other sequence at the beginning of the sequence? Warrior 2 with everything else.
Yeah, I did it. I told you I'm done with my sequence. It's all
Oh no,
done.
but you taught him the left and right side?
Oh no, we've only done one side.
Okay, since Devin has to leave, let's
Oh,
take him to the other side instead of before you go into this Garudasana.
all right, Dev, go ahead and come out of that pose. Just kind of shake it out for a second so I can get back to the top.
I really like this sequence so far though. Good job.
Thank you. I guess I'm gonna send it in because we keep stopping where we've already done it, and I want feedback on the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's have you teach the other side, and then next week, after Devin does the Sun A, you can skip the warm up and go straight into the rest of it.
Okay. Okay. So let's find ourselves back in downward facing dog. And we'll just kind of go a little bit quicker since we are running on time for you, Dev. So downward facing dog. Oh yeah, just come into Uttanasana, sorry. That's where we should have just started for you. And then hands on the earth. Yes, go ahead, rise. Sorry. I feel still scrambled now that we're in a time crunch. My brain is like trying to go way faster than I to be going. So Urdhva Hastasana, let's do extended mountain pose, arms up, gaze is forward, elbows are forward, spine is straight, tailbone tucked. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Inhale, angel wings, sweep out your arms wide like angel wings, lifting your chest, gaze is up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold, hinge from your hips all the way down, hug your legs, hug the earth, send it some love. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, hands above your knees, shoulder blades together, straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time, into extended mountain pose. Okay. Inhale or exhale, sorry, hands by your side. Or not side, Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Okay. Inhale, angel wings, sweep your arms out, lifting your chest, gaze up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold, hinge from your hips, all the way down. Hug your legs, hug the earth. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, hands above your knees, straight spine. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, begin to rise, all the way up, extended mountain pose. Exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. One more time. Inhale, extended mountain pose. Exhale, angel wings. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, extend your arms out and straight in front of you, biceps by your ears, engage your core. Exhale, plank pose. Arms beneath your shoulders. Engage the belly, make sure you're not slumping. Inhale, I think Vashisthasana, side plank. Roll to your left side, stacking your feet, pressing firmly through both your left hand. Lift your right arm straight up, ensuring your body forms a straight line. Keep your core engaged and stack and hips stacked. Or whatever variation you did on the opposite side, that's great. Your gaze can be up, down, whatever you're comfortable with, that you find balance. Take 2 of your own breaths. Okay, big breath in. On your exhale, release your arm back down to the earth, back into plank. Deep breath in. Exhale, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Step your left foot up and land it on the inside of your left hand. Stay here for a moment. One breath in, one breath out. Allow your right heel to melt on the ground. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 pose. Lovely. Let's try to bend the front knee a little bit more if you can. Inhale, Viparita Virabhadrasana, reverse warrior, maintaining the bend in your knee. Find your same right side. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. Reach a little further on your breath out if you can. And one more inhale together. Exhale, Utthita Parshvakonasana, extended side angle. Paint the air again as you are reaching your left arm down, right arm up. A block is nice here if you need to bring the floor closer to you to ensure a straight spine, your neck, yeah. And then deep breath in, slow exhale out. One more breath in. Exhale, revolving Utthita Parshvakonasana. Paint your right arm down by your left foot. Begin rotating your torso as you extend your left arm up. Gaze up or at the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. Exhale, bring your left arm down to the outside of your left foot, stepping back into an Anjaneyasana low lunge. Breathe in. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your right foot to meet your left. Moderate bend in the knees. Take a couple of your own breaths here. Inhale. Extend your arms overhead, biceps by your ear. Utkatasana, chair pose. Keep a straight spine, tailbone tucked, sit back, gazes forward, palms are facing each other. Make sure your knees are behind your toes. And breathe. You'll hold this for about 30 seconds. Doing a great job. Insert quote here. Make sure you're breathing. Nice slow breaths. You can sit back a little further on your breaths out if you can. Okay, keeping your arms extended, inhale, rise into one-legged Tadasana. Actually, no, just rise and shake it out because this is where we'll stop. Cool. Thanks, Dev.
Great job today, Brenda, Dev. Dev, you have to leave right now. All right. Thank you for staying a little bit longer. You did a good job.
Better next week. Even.
Better and better each day. Good job. Also, how's your elbow before you go? How's your elbow feeling, by the way?
Oh, look.
Okay, let's go. Push-ups.
Get
Good
to that
job.
next level.
Yeah. All right, good. It's good to see you being able to put pressure on it again. Good job today. All right, we'll see you soon, Dev. Okay, and then there were two.
I heard Serenity in there somewhere.
Yeah, she's right here. Still feeling a little sick. I'm also a little congested, but
Okay, I'm almost done.
Just so you know.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry.
all right.
I'm back.
How are you feeling today?
My spirits are good. My body is sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want you to teach this second half of your sequence. I know you've been talking about this for some time, so let's definitely have you teach the second part next time, and then we'll have Dev go first, and just do like a proper full like Sun A. What's challenging about your sequence is that your peak posture is Birds of Paradise, and there's a lot that's needed for the body to be fully open into that.
My
So
peak posture is not Birds of Paradise.
what is your peak posture?
Wild Thing.
Wild thing.
Oh, Wild Thing. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Well, still, it requires some.
I personally can't do Birds of Paradise yet, so I am not doing that as my peak posture.
Okay, cool. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll have you teach most of next week. And I think the next step from that would be having you teach the full class, just the full 60.
Yeah. I'm almost got my music together for it too. So I
Cool.
mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting
That's-
there.
Yeah, it's honestly, Brenda, you're getting better and better each time. There's a couple of things that I want you to refine, to look at,
Mhm.
and to bring, like, obviously, like always, we can always continue to get better and better. So, let's see. I want you to check in. There's a couple of phrases and filler words that you're saying that I think are impacting the way your teaching is received. So one of them is, let's go ahead and blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and I think I counted like 3 or 4 times for that.
That's because I was trying to go off script a little bit and I was trying to
Yeah.
find myself. I don't know. Whatever excuse, there's something in there that I can probably throw in.
No, it's all good. I mean, I honestly appreciate the fact that you're getting more and more comfortable and now you're experimenting with not using the script. And when there's not the script, so the reason why we have filler words is because it's literally the brain trying to create space for itself to think. So the
Mhm.
and the now we're
The
gonna
like. Oh,
yeah, yeah. That took a long time for me to get rid of after high school. But all of that is literally just the brain trying to create more time. And what you can give yourself permission to remember is that silence is totally fine. It's okay for there to be silence in a yoga class. As a matter of fact, it's kind of nice when you're just practicing and there's not just someone talking for 90 minutes nonstop, but there's little breaks. So if you just need a moment, just give yourself that moment. And you did that. There was a moment where you're getting flustered and you brought your hands together, you close your eyes, and you just started breathing. And then you brought it back. You brought the presence back and you're able to like get unflustered. You can do that 1,000 times in your yoga class and no one's gonna notice. Truly. Like it's just gonna feel like, oh, we're just in a yoga class. That's what you do, you know. So remember that you can replace the ums and the uhs, or when you don't know, you can just be completely quiet. And it's okay for there to just be silence. And it's not gonna look or feel as awkward as you think. It's actually gonna come off very masterful. There's a lot of yoga teachers, they're very precise with their language, what they say, when they say it, the pauses. So I think you're getting to that level very quickly where you're able to now start experimenting with saying less. Um, you went from forward fold, come down to your knees. Basically, you took them straight into down, what is it, tabletop? So I would,
well, I did just to defend myself. I did have to skip a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with going from a forward fold to a tabletop. But there's a really funny thing that happens when you're guiding people through class, especially when you start guiding bigger groups, is that there's always going to be at least one person that is going to literally do what you're saying.
Mhm.
Like, so what does that mean? If I'm in a forward fold, I'm like, okay, come down to your knees. Like someone's just gonna drop to their knees or something. Like, and I've literally seen something like this happen before. So from a forward fold, what is an easier way to transition someone from forward fold into a tabletop that would also be perhaps a little bit safer?
Um, the only one that's coming up to my mind is like doing a plank pose and then coming down onto your knees into a
Yeah,
tabletop.
yeah, I love that. What I was thinking was also walk your hands forward into a downward facing dog. Now bring your knees down to the floor, tabletop.
Because I'm gonna be downward facing dog anyways.
Exactly, exactly. Uh, Plank is great. plank is awesome. People are gonna generally do it, and you're more than likely not gonna have someone just bust their knees down on the floor from a forward fold. But still, it's just like walking them home, walking them there gently, guiding them through each and every step of the way. Um, Another thing that you said a whole bunch was ums. I think I counted like 5 or 6 ums.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I heard myself doing it, but it just kept coming out.
yeah, no, but you're doing good. You're noticing it. You know, now you're in the period of teaching where you're catching yourself, which is super important. Uh, when you're ready, you had like 5 beautifuls.
I
Um,
can't help those ones because when I look at them and they're doing what I told them to do, I'm like, yes.
yeah. Then say that. Say
So
fucking
I do
yes.
have a question.
Yeah.
When Dev was doing the extended side angle and then I had him do reverse, I know that his posture was off, but I feel like the adjustments that I wanted to give him, I don't know if his body would have gotten into him.
Okay, so talk me through the adjustments that you wanted to give him.
I wanted his hand to become closer to his foot, and I wanted him to use a block to bring himself up more because his body was like bent over, his neck was all weird. And I was having a hard time trying to figure out a kind way of getting him into the position better.
Hmm. Yeah, I noticed a few times when you were teaching, you were like, "Oh, this would be a great place for a block," or something like that. I
Mhm.
think remembering that, yes, you're teaching a class and we're doing like a dress rehearsal, so to speak, but you're also teaching to a real person who is also your friend. So you could just straight up say, just like you would tell Kaylee, like, "Hey, babe, do you have a block in that room? Could you go get it real quick?" You know, or whatever. You could
Mm.
just say that to Devin. Like, "Hey, Dev, do you have a block around by any chance? I think this is gonna make a big difference. Go ahead and grab your block. We can wait for a moment and then talk him through it." If you
Okay.
started teaching private clients, that's exactly what you would do. You know, you would just be like, okay, let's take a moment to pause here. Do you have a block? Do you have a couple of books? Could you grab that pillow that's on your couch? Okay, cool. And then guide them through that. For that revolved. So your inhale, exhale, extended side angle. What I would do is I would inhale as they reach up a little bit higher. Exhale, exhale, right hand to the ground, right? So now they're twisting the hand down, heel lifted off of the floor, and then inhale, revolve Prasarita. I can't remember the Sanskrit, but you have it down really well. And then get the twist comes from there. Does that make sense? So I
Yes.
would I would bring the hand down first, almost like almost basically really like a lunge again, and then from there inhale into the twist. So inhale, the opposite arm lifts. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to make it more fun and say paint your left arm down, but should I just keep it simple and just say put your arm down?
No, no, no. Paint is fine. Paint is fine. I'm just speaking to the breath and the transition there.
Okay.
And then sorry, speaking to the modification that you wanted to offer, I think a block could have worked. I think one thing that would have been very beneficial for Devin that would have made him more aligned is actually the orientation of his feet. Because I don't
Oh,
know if you noticed,
I
his
was looking at that. Yeah. Go ahead.
his
Sorry.
heel was directly in front of his toes, where typically you want heel to heel alignment, or to make it easier, you go wider than that. But he was almost like crossing his legs one in front of the other in
Right.
that pose. And then because of that, there's a very narrow space for him to balance. So that's actually, I think that's what was giving the most challenge. So instead of bringing his hand closer to his foot, I would have actually had him go wider, believe it or not. You know, and it's not going to look as straight, but it's going to give him more stability and for sure wider with his feet. I think just his feet more than anything else would have given him more stability in that shape.
If his feet were wider, you think his hand would have been closer to his
Right.
foot?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I think that would have created what you wanted to do, but it would have given him more stability. Another thing
Okay.
you can say in that, Brenda, as a modification, is come onto your fingertips. Instead of bringing your
Mm,
palm down, bring your fingertips down, or bring a fist. Make a fist and bring your fist down. All of those are going to give them more space. Specifically, the fingertips is going to be good for them creating more height. And you can talk about the importance of strengthening the muscles in the hand and strengthening your wrist, which is actually a real thing. That really would be good for all of y'all that work with your hands. Um, so that's a modification that I would give you that for you to use. Like fingertips on that revolved is gonna make a big difference. And the feet a little bit wider.
Feet
The
out
next
wider,
thing,
come to your fingertips.
uh-huh.
Just writing, sorry.
The next thing I would say is replace the word the with your. So I wrote here, use more your instead of the. So instead
Oh
of
man, I didn't catch, sorry, yeah, thought I did really good with that, but
you
thank
actually
you.
you did you really did. I mean, I didn't count that as many times as some of the other things,
Yeah,
but
keep
you could bring more of
the
that into your practice. So just notice it. I might even send you this recording. I usually don't upload these classes, but I can send you the recording so you can watch yourself. Um, what else? I actually really like the thing that you're doing with the angel wings. What's the thought process behind that? What made you want to start doing that and teaching that?
heart opening. I just because
Feels
it's a
really good.
heart opening chest. It's something different. I also wanted to,
Hmm.
this is why I wanted to get more into the thing, but I thought it was a cool idea to incorporate it in between my Garudasana poses. So before switching, you do one more of
Ooh,
those and then switch into
I love that. I
the
love
other side.
and
I
that
don't
probably
know.
feels so good. I love it. So how I would teach it, because essentially what you're doing is an Anuvitasana variation with the arms by the side. Because
Yeah.
it's still technically a back bend. You're still asking them to lift their chest, look back, elongate their neck. And what I like about this, Brenda, is that for people that have a hard time with their arms overhead, that might cause a lot of strain on their shoulders or on their low back, this feels way more accessible. Like it feels very natural. So a couple of things that I would do, just some notes for you that might help you teach this a little bit more smoothly. I would say, okay, yogis, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, right? Extended Tadasana, arms overhead. Now, hold here, find a steady pace. In just a moment, we're going to get into a variation of our Anuvitasana, but instead of cactusing the arms, in just a moment, I'm going to ask you to tee out your arms like angel wings. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Inhale one more time, reach a little bit higher. Exhale, tee out your arms like angel wings and reach your fingertips as far away from each other as you can. And then you just cue them. The first one you do like that, you just cue them a lot. Find your natural breath here, yogis, as you lift your chin up towards the sky. Also, another note for you is orientation of the hands is very important because this pose is going to feel very different if their thumbs are pointed forward, if they're pointed down, or if they're pointed up. So keep the thumbs pointed up. Reach your palms behind you. Imagine that you could almost touch the back of your hands together behind your back. Lift your chest, gaze up. Hold here for another breath in. Find a little more depth on the breath out. Inhale slowly back to center, arms overhead. Exhale, Samastitihi, or exhale, uh, hands to prayer.
Uttanasana is what should I do that? Hands to prayer and then fold forward after
It's up,
the angel wings?
it's up to you. I was just bringing them out of that angel wing.
Yeah.
But then
Okay.
I would just say that, like I would say sort of like maybe the first one you introduce it a little bit, you explain what's about to happen. But tee out the arms, thumbs up, reach back, gaze up. Like that's gonna feel really good. And then once you do that the first time with a lot of cues, every other time they're just gonna get it. So, but I really like that. Well, what else did I wrote here? The only other thing I had here was I think you said inhale chair pose.
Did I? I will. Let me find it. Nope, that's not it.
I mean, I guess if you're coming from a chair pose from a forward fold,
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
inhale, chair pose.
Okay. If you're coming from a forward fold, that's fine,
Yeah,
because you're
it is
lifting.
from a forward fold.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Is 30 seconds too long to hold a chair pose?
No, not at all. That's perfect.
Okay. I was
That's-
looking at my timer and I was like, dang, this feels like forever.
It definitely does, but I think for what you're wanting them to go through, like I think it's good. And it's good for people to be in hold postures for extended periods of time. So I would say for you, slow down, breathe. Your breathing is getting really, really good. Your pacing is getting really good. Um, the sequence is really, I really like it. I really love what you're doing with that. So for homework, go ahead and submit this sequence again, on the school group for feedback under the feedback submission tab, and I'll look at it. And then I think you're ready. Have you written this out by any chance, like on a pen and paper?
No, it's all on my computer.
Okay, so then I want
I was writing the HPF on pen and paper, but I
uh-huh.
realized how much I was like changing that I've just switched everything over to my laptop. So it was easier
Yeah,
to fix things.
yeah, totally. So I would, once you have like a final draft, I would like for you to do the same thing that I asked Dev. I would like for you to write it all down. And you can write it in shorthand, but write it on a piece of paper. And it's gonna be on a piece of paper just so that you can see it, so you can use that instead of using the computer. And hopefully really even not having to use it at all eventually. But write it down, because writing it down is gonna help ingrain it in your mind a little bit more. Because I think you know it, you got it, but I still see you kind of relying too much on the script. And the problem with using a digital script, everything has its pros and its cons, but the downside of the digital script is that then you'll find yourself looking at the script more often than you're looking at the student. So if you have a piece of paper or something outside of the computer, then anytime you return your eyes to the computer, you're focusing on the students rather than looking for your script. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So give that a try, check your filler words, but overall you're doing a great job. Really, really great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. And do you have any questions for me?
I kind of want to tell you, I guess I'm gonna put it in school. So when I was trying to write out my getting into the wild thing pose, it's really wordy, and I did send it to Kaylee and she kind of helped me clean it up a little bit, but I wanted a second, but I
Yeah,
could just
please.
wait for you
Yeah,
to.
send it to me. Send it to me, and I'd love to give you review it and give you some notes as well.
Cool. I will. I'll do
All
that.
right. Now, before you go, let me see. I was looking at your profile. I wanted to know if you wanted me to use the same card that we used last year for your monthly membership, or if you had a different card that you would like to
It's
use.
Is it 9903?
Let me
Last
find.
four?
What's your last name again, Brenda?
It's Stuber. You guys never did automatic payments from me. I always just did it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me check. That's probably why. That makes sense. Let's see. I don't even have you here. Hold on.
I think we were gonna set up a payment thing, but we never did. And I just paid. I paid on time or early or something
Okay, here. Let me.
except for the first time.
No worries. Do you have the card that you want to use?
I can grab it real quick.
Okay.